your partner something in your life that they regret and the story behind that, or an instance where your partner worked hard for something and it didn't turn out the way they hoped. What choice would you like to do today?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I took Portuguese class. So even though I'm not Portuguese, I'm Lebanese, Greek, and Italian.
Hmm.
Those are those are like my ethnicities. So when I took Portuguese in high school, a lot of the kids in my class took in my grade took Spanish. There's like a Mandarin group of kids, like the kids that took Mandarin, and then there are kids that took French. So me being me, I just wanted to take something completely different. So I took Portuguese because I was in a very Portuguese populated city for my school. So when I took the class by my senior year, I was in it for 3 years, and then my fourth year we didn't have to take it, so I didn't. But I still talk to the teacher. But
Hmm.
so when we had a class trip to go to Portugal. It cost a lot of money to go to it, and I originally had signed up.
Hmm.
I was all prepared. I was ready to go, but I slacked off. I had graduated at that point, and so I graduated that early June, and then that mid June was when the trip started, and I just backed out and just said, you know what, no, I'm not going to go. But looking back, I completely regret not going because I saw so many pictures of my friends, my classmates that were there. They got to visit all the beaches. They got to try all the foods, all the stuff that like I had learned about when I was in my Portuguese class. So it's definitely something that I think about today because I love to travel. I've traveled a lot this year and the past couple of years. So, Portugal's not going to Portugal is definitely like a big regret of mine.
Hmm. So, you say you grew up in a heavily Portuguese populated city. Where are you from?
So I'm in Bridgewater, Massachusetts, but my school was in Taunton, Mass. It's like two towns over. But
Hmm.
like once you get towards Taunton, like the more south you go, it gets towards like Fall River, New Bedford, Mass. And it's a very heavily Portuguese population. They call it New Portugal down there.
Hmm. So, when I assume like you knew some of these people that went on the trip,
Yeah.
when they initially left, did you have that FOMO, or was it when you saw all the pictures and all the memories they created that kind of settled in for you?
Yeah, there's actually a specific one. So one of them actually was my cross country teammate Pete. He
Mm.
when he was on the when he was on the trip, he posted a video on there was a beach that's like right in Lisboa, or Lisbon, I'm sorry. And I'm like, that's exactly where I want to be. The beach looked beautiful. He posted a picture and then he sent us a couple Snapchats as well. So and he's like, "Hey, wish you were here, dude." So that really stung because at that point I was actually working a shift at the restaurant I used to work at as a dishwasher. And so I'm like, I could be on a beach right now, soaking up the sun, but instead I'm cleaning dishes in the restaurant right now. And all because I wanted to be cheap and didn't want to spend the money.
Hmm. It's crazy. So you're in this restaurant, you're washing dishes, your son sends you this video. Um, looking back on it, what's what's the one thing that you really wish that you could have saw or could have experienced in Portugal? You talked about all these things
Mhm.
that you missed out on, but when you look at the trip, like what's the one thing that
Yeah,
really sticks out?
definitely the beaches. I mean, you can tell like my sun-kissed face. I was at the beach all day yesterday. Um, and then because I love the beach, the food there, like I've and there's just the culture and experiencing a place outside of the United States. Because at that point, I had never been out of the United States. I had just and just be out of like my comfort zone because I felt like I was really sheltered in high school. My parents they always said try to go out and do this, Joe, go out and do this. Like they weren't the ones that were sheltering me. It was more like me sheltering myself. Like I was so like afraid to get out of my comfort zone with things and try new things. So I think with I think with just not going on this trip, it was kind of like the epitome of that. Like, Joe, you have to get out. You need to go see the world. You're young. Like, go do it now while you can. So
Mhm.
I just think, but yeah, to answer your question, it was definitely the beaches, the food, the culture. Like you go, they were on like tour buses, like all of that, like just the entire trip. I really wish could I could have gone.
Mhm. You say you never traveled outside of the United States. Do you have any upcoming trips to knock that off your bucket list?
So I'm actually leaving for the Cayman Islands in 2 days. I'm going to be there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm leaving on Saturday and I'm there for an entire week. So, while we're finishing up our final project for not only this class, but for Dr. Moritz's class. So,
Mhm.
I mean, most of my story's done for at least for Dr. Moritz's class. This class, I still have some work to do with it, but I'm gonna bring my laptop with me. I'll able to, post this stuff through Moodle. So I am pretty confident that everything will run smoothly. I try to stay ahead of schedule and just try to be on top of things. But yeah, so I'll be in the Cayman Islands this next week. It's my girlfriend's, it's like a graduation gift. So it'll be me
Mhm.
and her parents that are going.
Gotcha. So if you were able to talk to younger Joe or a younger person who is kind of on the fence about going on a trip out of the country, what would you say to them?
I would say, Joe, don't be soft. Put your big pants on. You can do this. Go out and see the world because you're not gonna regret it. And now, me being me, I regret going on this trip.
Gotcha. Well, that's all my questions for today, Joe. I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, awesome.